Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome to United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania. My name is Bobby Watt-Geer. I'm the President and CEO of United Way. And on behalf of United Way, I certainly want to welcome all of you, and in particular, our elected guests today. Of course, you'll be hearing from the Lieutenant Governor in just a moment, but we also have here with us today Allegheny County Executive Sarah Innamorato, State Senator Wayne Fontana, State Representative Lindsay Powell, City of Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor is with us today. I think I have all of our electeds. We were expecting perhaps one or two others. United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania mobilizes the caring power of community for the betterment of everyone in our region. Last year alone, we invested over $38 million in human services programs that provided assistance to nearly 1.5 million people in our region and in the Commonwealth. And a key way we're able to do this is through the provision of PA 211 Southwest Contact Center. We are proud to run the 211 Contact Center for 34 Pennsylvania counties, reaching 70% of the population of Pennsylvania. This free, confidential service connects people across the Commonwealth 24/7, 365 to vital human services in our neighborhoods. PA 211 Southwest is the Commonwealth's premier human services contact center. Real people answer the phones. They answer texts, they provide an empathetic ear in helping people find local resources to meet their basic needs. Last year, our resource navigators personally interacted with more than 150,000 people, and nearly 460,000 people used our highly curated database, including nearly 8,000 agencies that provide services in their home communities. PA 211 has repeatedly demonstrated our effectiveness. It was central in the call to action for people who were experiencing food insecurity during the recent SNAP freeze. When Governor Shapiro told people to contact 211 during this crisis, our resource navigators were ready to help. Housing, utilities, food assistance are always among the top needs. In 2025, across the Commonwealth, we saw a 63% increase in food insecurity calls year over year. People also call us in times of disaster, storms, bad weather, not that we're familiar with that at all lately, other disasters, and fires. United Way has supported 211 since its inception through a combination of individual, corporate, foundation, and government support. We have a great relationship and program with Allegheny County in terms of making sure that 211 is the front door for people in need in our community. We have also benefited from state funding, and it has been level for the last decade. And we've been advocating for increased funding and state support during this time. That will help us to continue to meet the need and the rising costs and the technology investments that are required to make sure that 211 is there for all Pennsylvania residents. And I'm pleased to turn the microphone over to our Lieutenant Governor, Austin Davis, who I believe has some additional news for us today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Bobby, for that warm introduction. It's great to be back here at the United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania. This is my home, United Way. And I'm so grateful to be joined by a number of partners that the governor and I have, both at the state level and at the city level, from Senator Fontana and Representative Powell. Thank you for your leadership. We're certainly going to need your help as we shepherd this budget across the finish line. To leadership here at the local level, and County Executive Innamorato and Mayor O'Connor, thank you both for being such strong partners here in Pittsburgh. And I also want to thank all of the folks who work here and volunteer at the United Way for all of their hard work. we're here today to applaud the work of the United Way and in particular the 211 call center workers, everything that they do to connect Pennsylvanians in need with the resources and services that are available to them. Some folks like to talk about who should or shouldn't be receiving services, but they completely sometimes ignore the fact that many people who are eligible don't access the services or resources that they're entitled to. Working families, seniors, people with disabilities, veterans, victims of crimes or disasters, these folks are often struggling to get by day to day, and they need help navigating what's available for them and their families. That's where 211 steps in. Pennsylvanians can get information and resources 24/7, 365 days of the year, completely confidential and free of charge. This service is mainly funded through contracts, special projects, and the United Way, but state government has provided $750,000 each year for Pennsylvania's 211s. That's just 10% of that overall services budget. When my staff met with the United Way's team back in October, that also happened to be at a moment when the federal government was shutting down and putting food assistance at risk for nearly 2 million Pennsylvanians. Governor Shapiro and I were visiting food banks and encouraging people to call 211 for both assistance and for volunteer opportunities. I stood at the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Banks with a number of the leaders who are here today at that time. It was so encouraging to see so many Pennsylvanians step up to donate and volunteer their time during what was truly a critical time for folks here in our Commonwealth. And 211's call centers literally not just stepped in, but were the heroes in a lot of ways during that precarious time. I can't say what will happen in the coming weeks and months as it relates to the federal government, but what I do know is the chaos and confusion that we see coming out of Washington, D.C. Is putting Pennsylvanians at risk. That's why we need 211 now more than ever. This work is important, and these workers are extremely important. That's why Governor Shapiro and I are calling for a 33% increase to the PA 211 line in our state budget proposal that the governor unveiled last week. We're focused like a laser on delivering real results and addressing the affordability crisis that's crushing so many hardworking families here in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania 211 is an important, and I would rather say critical partner in that effort because they help Pennsylvanians get the help with housing, food, and utilities, those bills that really just keep coming and keep going up and up. For Pennsylvanians who might be struggling, help is here, and it's just a phone call or a text away. And so we are going to work over the next few months to get this funding across the finish line. I think the governor and I recognize that this is a start, quite frankly, a long overdue start to the work that state government needs to do to funding 211s, to delivering resources to our most vulnerable residents. And we are proud to be partners, and I could not be more prouder to be here with you in my home county here in Allegheny County to make this announcement. It's my pleasure to bring up somebody who has been really tackling these issues head on here at the county level, whether it's from housing affordability, whether it's for making sure that folks have access to our Department of Human Services. She's just doing a phenomenal job, our county executive, Sarah Innamorato.
Right. Well, thank you, Lieutenant Governor Davis, for coming home to make this momentous announcement, and thank you for continuing to put forward a people-first budget. I also want to thank my partners in Harrisburg, Representative Powell, Senator Fontana, Mayor O'Connor, and of course, Dr. Bobby Watt-Geer. Thank you and your entire team at United Way. You are incredible partners to Allegheny County, and you do a tremendous service to our neighbors each and every day. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And In Allegheny County, we know families are struggling, and when they're hurting and they need help, they don't need to be told to navigate another bureaucracy and fill out another form just to get help. So 211 really streamlines it. You call 211 and a human being picks up and responds. It's incredible. I had the privilege of about a year or so ago of sitting and shadowing some of the operators, and I will tell you, the calls stick with you, why people call. I remember, I think it was the second call I sat in, and there was a woman, and she said, I haven't eaten in 2 days and the cupboards are bare. I need to know where I can go. And when you hear stories like that, you know people are probably calling and asking for help for the first time. And to be able to deliver that information in a comprehensive and non-judgmental way is absolutely critical to making sure that our neighbors can get the help they need when they need it. And we know how critical these services are at Allegheny County. 211, it connects people to eviction prevention and housing stability, food access, behavioral health supports. Really, this is what people are getting connected to each and every day with 211. 211 is the connective tissue across systems that would otherwise be extremely difficult to navigate. And this is so important, like you heard it from the Lieutenant Governor. This is our neighbors, these are seniors, these are people with disabilities, these are working families and busy parents, and these are people experiencing a crisis, and they just need a place to go. That's why this increase in funding is so critical for 211. At a time when families are facing an affordability crisis, we know 37% of families in Allegheny County are at or below the ALICE threshold. We really need to combat the fear and confusion it takes to navigate these systems, and we need a strong and reliable place where people can go. And you heard it here from Lieutenant Governor, in a time of chaos at the federal government and dwindling funds, we need to support in what is working and what is serving our neighbors each and every day. So thank you to Lieutenant Governor Davis, to Governor Shapiro for putting this forward. Really, in Allegheny County, we are working every day to make sure that we can create a safe and thriving and connected region. And I know I have a partner in that in Mayor O'Connor, so I think he would like to come up and share some words on what 211 means to the city of Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Well, thank you, County Executive. And it's absolutely right. I mean, I'm not going to repeat everything that was said, but to the exec's point, when they run DHS, these are the most vulnerable residents that we have to see each and every day, and they need this type of support. So knowing that we have the support from the county to help us locally is very, very helpful for our residents, and also our partners at the state who are willing to support the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor to fight for this critical funding is absolutely imperative. And I see Councilmember Wilson from the north side. His residents need somewhere to call at 2 o'clock in the morning. Who's there? And I think that's why these services, the more we can promote, the more we can talk about it, the more it impacts our residents, only provides a better quality of life for all Pittsburghers. And the more we can actually support the hard workers here more than ever is really critical, because you are on the front lines. You take those calls when somebody is in need. You are the first voice that they hear when they're suffering, when they're trying to get mental health, when they're trying to get food. I mean, all of those things are so critical to us here in Pittsburgh that's why we have to continue to fight for every dollar that we can. And I think, again, I want to thank the Governor and Lieutenant Governor for making this a priority. Thank the County Executive and all the work at DHS that they provide for our city residents. And I want to thank Representative Powell for all of her hard work in the House. And now it's my job to introduce, and he said I have to use one term when I introduce him, so I'm trying to get it in, our fabulous state senator, Wayne Fontana, to talk about the services and what they can provide from the state.
Good job. He made that up. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you. Thank you for the invitation to be here today. And thank you to Dr. Watgier for hosting us today. and it was good to see you in Harrisburg. She was up there lobbying last week, talking to everybody and anybody would listen to her. So she's doing a great job. And thanks to the Lieutenant Governor. Welcome home. You said you were back home, so that's great. But I want to start off by applauding the Shapiro-Davis administration for continuing to invest in our most vulnerable people. And I support the proposed increase in the budget for the vital 211 communication services. During my time in office, I've always preached to my staff that we solve all problems. And what I mean by that is, even if the problem or the situation a constituent may find themselves in, it isn't something that in our purview, if it isn't something in our purview, we always try to find options for folks and provide direction to have their issue handled as efficiently and quickly as possible. And it's in the similar spirit that 211 operates, and it's a big reason why they are such a vital resource for our communities. They don't just redirect calls, they solve problems. They have folks who are trained specifically to help callers in a much more global way, connecting them with resources that can help meet all their needs. I know they've helped my constituents and all of yours and over the years because they tell us. The constituents tell my staff. And it's more important than ever that we provide 211 the necessary resources so they can continue assisting a growing number of people, not just here in Pittsburgh and in the region, but all across the Commonwealth. I look forward to continuing fighting in the fight in Harrisburg on behalf of this important community resource that so many rely on. And I am committed to doing whatever I can to be supportive of 211 and the United Way's efforts to help our most vulnerable people. Thank you again for the invitation to be here, and thanks for the important work that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Representative Lindsay Powell.
Well, thank you all so much. I want to thank our previous speakers for standing up, and especially I want to thank our Governor and Lieutenant Governor for their courageous investment in 211. We're the neighborhood of Mr. Rogers, right? Here in Pittsburgh, we care about our neighbors. We want to make sure that everyone has everything that they need to thrive and survive, not just in Pittsburgh, not just in Allegheny County, but in all parts of this beautiful Commonwealth that 211 serves. It is imperative now more than ever in the chaos and the confusion and the craziness and the challenges that we all face that we know that we have resources that are available at all times of the night and day when we know that our constituents and neighbors need that help. Our office relies on 211. Our neighbors rely on 211. And I think it's important to raise up the folks that actually are on the other line answering those calls. Oftentimes in our office, we say that people are not calling you on their best day. They're calling you on their very worst day, the day that they couldn't imagine, the day that they realize there's no food left in the fridge, the day that they have a crisis in their family and don't know where to turn to, the day that they were not expecting, not anticipating, but they know that they can call 211 to make sure that they get not just a person to pick up the phone, but a warm handoff, a caseworker that's able to navigate some of these complex bureaucracies that are difficult to navigate even as an elected official. And so I want to especially raise up and thank the workers of 211 for the tireless work that they do. You've heard from a lot of us elected officials, but I think it's important to hear from the people on the ground who do that work every single day. And so it is my honor to be able to bring up Ms. Erica Evans, who actually is doing that work on behalf of 211.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's okay.
This is Billy steal this from you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erica Evans. I am the 211 training manager. I have been here for approximately 10 years. The work that we do at 211 is connecting people to resources that can help them move beyond immediate needs and get them back to stability and self-sufficiency. And I am proof of that. I was once a caller, and just like anyone else reaching out to PA 211 in a moment of crisis, at the time I was a single mother. I was working as an in-home caregiver and attending college. And one day my client went to hospice. So not only did I lose someone I deeply cared about, Shortly after that, I lost my job. And shortly after that, I became homeless. And one day, downtown Pittsburgh, I was looking for help, and someone gave me a 2-in-1 card. And I called and I spoke with a resource navigator who provided me with the critical information that I needed to secure housing. A few days later, this same resource navigator followed up with me to provide me some information through Jewish Family and Community Services to help support career training and career development. A temporary position opened up here at 211 for their free tax preparation program through the United Way with collaboration of 211. And needless to say, I got the job. I guess what was supposed to be temporary turned into 10 years. But honestly, my story is not unique, right? Many Pennsylvanians are hardworking individuals. When in a crisis hits, such as a sick loved one, a loss of a job, an unexpected car repair, home repair, they may be in despair. These circumstances can happen to anyone. So often people need just a hand up, just to get back on track, and 211 is there to connect them with the resources that they need right here in their own neighborhoods. And as you may be aware, the demand with basic needs has increased dramatically over the years. So this increased funding will allow us to continue to serve the people of Pennsylvania and connect them to the resources they desperately need. And we are sincerely grateful for the support that makes this work possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Erica, for your remarks and for the wonderful team that you lead here at 211. If it's not clear, we want you to know that we have your backs, and we're going to be fighting to make sure that you have the resources that you and all of Pennsylvania's, southwestern Pennsylvania's communities so desperately need. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions from the media if there are any at this time. All right, thank you. I was going to give the hard ones to the mayor anyway, so. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much.
Southwestern Pennsylvania. My name is Bobby Whitegear. I'm the President and CEO of United Way. And on behalf of United United Way. I certainly want to welcome all of you, and in particular our elected guests today. The microphone over to our Lieutenant Governor, Austin Davis, who I believe has some additional news for us today.
Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Bobby, for that warm introduction. It's great to be back here at the United Way of Southwestern Pennsylvania. This is my home, United Way. And I'm so grateful to be joined by a number of partners that the governor and I have, both at the state level and at the city level, from Senator Fontana and Representative Powell. Thank you for your leadership, all of the folks who work here and volunteer at the United Way, for all of their hard work. You know, we're here today to applaud the work of the United Way, and in particular the 211 call center workers. Many people who are eligible don't access the services or resources that they're entitled to. Working families, seniors, people with disabilities, veterans, victims of crimes or disasters, these folks are often struggling to get by day to day, and they need help navigating what's available for